Our artist of the week this week is Frank Stella. Here's a picture of Mr. Stella with one of his paintings. Now, Frank Stella was not only a painter, he was a sculptor. So, we are going to look at him today to get us inspired to make a little sculpture using whatever you can find at home. So, let's check out one of his artworks. So this is a sculpture by Frank Stella that has a bunch of different shapes. In school, we'll talk about what we think the shapes could mean. So you could pause the video here and think yourself about what the shapes could be. Now, in school, we are going to be using some cardboard to make some sculptures. If you have cardboard at home, that's great. This kind of cardboard is a little difficult to cut. So if you have a cereal box or another kind of thin box, it might be easier for you to cut at home. In school, I already cut these into all kinds of different small pieces, so it's easy for kindergarten and first grade to use, but thinner cardboard is always easier. Here's another sculpture we'll take a peek at in school before we get to work. And another one. This one's so big, it fills up the whole wall. So now that we've looked at a couple of Frank Stella artworks, let's see how we can start building our own sculptures. In school, we will start with these cardboard bases to build our projects on. The first step is to put your name on the back. Now, I'm also going to put my class, so say I'm 2P. Now, at home, you might have some of this thick cardboard, or you might have some thinner cardboard. You might have some Elmer's glue. You might have some masking tape. You might have a scissor. But if you don't have these things, you can gather whatever materials you can get your hands on to build something. And if you have nothing at all to build with, you can always make 2D or flat sculpture, and that's just fine. Okay? Make whatever you can manage to make at home. I know it's a little tricky in this time. So, we are going to use some thick cardboard in school, and we're going to think about our different shapes. You can use shapes that show something, like, for example, in one of those Frank Stella artworks, he had that spiky shape that might have looked like a wave. So you can cut your cardboard any way that you want to show something. Now, I think this one's cool already because it kind of looks like a big snake tongue. Maybe I want to make it even a little curvier. So you can cut it yourself. If you need help from a grown-up, that's fine too. You can even use your scraps. Now for this one, I want my pieces to pop off the back of my sculpture just a little bit. If you layer them like this, it's kind of going to end up looking like a Frank Stella sculpture, and this is just fine, but how can you experiment to get the pieces to pop off? We're not going to be talking about specific techniques in school yet. I'm giving our kindergartners and first graders one class period to really just experiment and see what they can figure out on their own. But if you need a little direction, you might want to try making a tab on one of your pieces. And that's just folding a little bit up, and that'll give you something to glue down. So that's my one little hint of advice to get things pop off the background. Everything else is up to you. So your job this week is to experiment a little bit to get those pieces to pop off the background. Lay them down however you want. Use glue or tape or both to glue them down. And don't forget to post a picture showing me what you've made. Good luck. Can of beans is on my brother's nightstand.